Thank you, Deputy Secretary Mayorkas. I thank you so much for your kind introduction, and I have to say that if there's anybody that understands the border and is ready to spend time making sure that we make this a 21st century border, it is the Deputy Secretary. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I also want to thank the men and women in blue and ICE also for the great work that they have been doing to make sure that we keep our borders safe, and at the same time that we keep security in mind, that we don't impede the tourism and trade that is so important to our area. As the Deputy Secretary said a few minutes ago, if you look at the latest FBI statistics, Laredo has made a heck of a difference, because we now have $62 million to make sure that we work on bridge number 1 and bridge number 2. And Mr. Administrator, I want to thank you so much for the great work that you also, I want to thank Mr. Crenshaw, Mr. Jose Serrano, my ranking members, and the appropriations that put this money over here. So I certainly want to thank them. I know you got a lot of good men and women that work for you. I see my good friend J.D. Salinas, a former GSA administrator for the 5 states. I want to thank you so much for the work that you did. Mr. Mandel over here, the acting administrator, we also want to say thank you for the work that you've done, because again, this area is so important to the country. It's not only the 6 million jobs that you mentioned also, but keep in mind that when an import comes in from China, in the pedestrian also, or should I say the autos, and then number 5 in pedestrian. So this makes us one of the top ports in the whole country, and this is why we're so glad that this $62 million have been put in here, will be put here. We will work with the federal government. I know that sometimes people don't like the federal government, but the federal government plays the role. But again, working with the federal government, we got to work with the private sector, because again, it is the private sector that helps to create the jobs. And again, as we work on this, we will take the input from the private sector. We will work with our Mexicans also to make sure that we coordinate. And also, the last thing that I do want to mention that's so important, again, I support our men and women in blue, but we've had a little trouble on how we treat people coming in from across the river. If there's a bad, our consulate here from Mexico, Miguel also our consulate from Mexico based here. We understand that the Rio Bravo and the Rio Grande does not divide us as 2 countries, but actually unites us here, because we understand the importance of the neighbor to the south, the neighbor to the north, and this is why this port is so important. When you look at the trade that we have in our area, and I think you know the numbers, first of all, if you look at the number 1 inland port, it is the city of Laredo. When you look at total trade, it is LA, New York, and then Laredo. When you look at not only the trade itself also, but when you look at also the busiest bus port, I think this area, Carlos and Mayor, it was built for only for about handling 6 or 10 buses to make sure that we treat our people coming in from Mexico with the proper respect that they should be treated with. At this time, it is my honor to introduce the mayor. I know that the mayor and then the city manager have done a heck of a job, and of course our city council, the president here. They understand the importance of Laredo. The mayor understands the importance of Laredo. We'll be going up to Washington, D.C. in a couple of weeks, and we hope to spend time with you up there to re-emphasize the importance of Laredo, and to understand that Laredo is the gateway to Mexico, but it's not only an impact to Laredo, but it's an impact to the rest of the country, and this is how the mayor does a great job to make sure that Washington understands the importance of the city of Laredo. So Mayor, it is a pleasure having you here, and please join me up here. Thank you, Mayor.